And we're back, Jonathan.
Oh yeah, another episode of the Road to Code.
What episode is this?
Episode 18. Wow.
18. Wow is right. Yeah. How many episodes did you think we were going to get this year?
I don't even know. Like 18 seems like a lot already.
It does. Yeah. Well, it's actually 18 plus 4. Plus 4? Yeah, plus 4. Because we did that 5-part episode 10, which we learned our lesson on. And so we're like, yeah, no more long episodes like that. We just gotta break them down and into bite-sized chunks. So, all right. We got merch available, don't we?
Yes. And if you don't want to buy your own merch, we're doing a giveaway.
Whoa, don't give it away so fast now. Gotta make them work for it first. Show us the merch. Share your screen. Show us the merch.
All right. We have merch.
So this is a complicated URL, Jonathan. How do we get to this URL easier?
Easier? You can go on to the roadtocode.net.
The roadtocode.net.
And we have our official merch tab right here.
Oh, click on that puppy right there. And that will take you straight to the store.
Yes.
Where you can pick up your t-shirt for men or women, your tote bag, or your coffee mug.
Yeah.
But if you're broke, just like we are, what can people do to earn free merch?
For our giveaway, we are doing free merch. And to qualify, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel and leave a comment.
So what if you're already subscribed?
Current subscribers are already in the raffle. All you have to do is leave a comment on the most recent video.
All right. So if you're already subscribed, you need to leave a comment.
Yes.
In any video.
In any video.
And we're going to do this every month.
From the 1st to the 30th, or the end of the month, whatever it lands on.
29, 30, 31, one of those end of the month days, right? So every month, we're going to start on the 1st. We're going to go to the end of the month. If you're already subscribed, just comment on one of the videos. But what if you have nothing to say, Jonathan? Nothing to comment.
Just type in "show me the merch."
Oh, that's a knockoff from the movie. I see what you're doing there. Instead of saying "show me the money," you're saying "show me the merch."
Oh,
Got it. All right. So the new subscribers, all they got to do is just subscribe, and they automatically qualify they're automatically qualified to have their name put into a raffle, which at the end of the month, we'll have a program that's going to do the raffle pick and pick the winner for us.
Yeah.
If you're already a subscriber, then just leave a comment, and that will automatically enter your name into the raffle. So at the end of the month, your name might get picked by this random number program we're going to be writing, right?
Yeah.
All right. And then, so is this like worldwide or?
Oh yeah, it's only the United States plus Alaska and Hawaii. We'll do that one too.
Yeah.
Throw those in.
Sorry, worldwide, but yeah, it's a little expensive to ship out of the country. So, and in some countries, they're going to probably want to charge you tax just to receive it. So yeah, so we're going to keep it for the US for now. If we can figure out how to get outside of the US, we'll open it up to the world. But for now, it's only US. But please, you're welcome to click like, subscribe, comment on our videos, and we'll once we open it up, we'll figure out a way to get those people back into the raffles and stuff. So yeah. Cool. Excellent. I like it. All right. I want to plug in, oh. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I want to plug in a little something, if you don't mind.
Do it.
Let's see here. Let me share my screen here. There's this little website called Thinkster.io. And at Thinkster, we have this little a la carte menu of technology that you can pick and choose for front and back end technologies to help you build a full stack application. In other words, you get a website, you get an API, you get database, and you're guided through the whole process. I happen to write the API for C# that is part of that a la carte menu. So you come here to ASP.NET Web API with Victor Campos. That's me, by the way. And you can check out the videos. More than half of them are free. You can go through the whole part. It'll take you through authentication and authorization all the way up until the login portion. So once you get to the login portion, you'll hit the paywall. And if you want to get the rest of the videos, I believe that it's only, let's go find out how much it is. If we go pro, it's only 24 bucks a month. And if you pay for a whole year, it only comes out to 12 bucks a month.
Wow.
So that's pretty good. That's not bad at all. A lot of useful information for all sorts of technology, not just my videos, but all sorts of technologies. So that's my plugin for Thinkster.
Cool.
Cool. So we're on episode 18, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we actually had a guest on episode 11. And the only reason he was on episode 11 was because episode 10 just took up 5 of them. So. But I think about every 10 episodes, we're going to plan for a guest to join us. It gives you a break from coding because, man, everybody needs a little break once in a while. As much as you like it, you still need a break from it, you know?
Yeah.
But this guest, which we're going to have on episode 20, he's a veteran. And he also works in software engineering.
Okay.
And so we'll get his story. We'll get to talk to him a little bit, and we'll get to ask him some questions. We'll figure out what keeps him going in the software industry, and what are the downfalls that he experiences. You know, he's been coding for quite a while. I want to say he's been coding for over 10 years, if not more. Yeah, I want to say at more than 10 years he's been coding. And to this day, you'll be surprised at how much software engineers struggle to keep up with technology. I mean, it's a constant struggle. And so, yeah, so we'll talk to him, and we'll see what the 10 years of software developments have been like, what keeps them going. And yeah. So I'm looking forward to that one. So we have been building a little application.
Mm-hmm.
And our little website is called Significant, right? And what we did, we started off with a database with one table that holds significant birth dates. And this table will hold the birth dates and date of death, if the person is dead, of people that have influenced technology significantly. You get it? You see what I did there? Significantly.
A little zinger to the significant.
And so yeah, we built the table, and we did the store procedures, and then we also did a console application. And you know, it was fairly boring, kind of exciting, but at the same time, it's like, well, nobody uses console applications. Nobody uses text-based applications anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we had to step it up a notch, and we was like, okay, fine, let's build our API, and we put our API together, and that broke our console application. So we had to go back and fix it and make it so that we can use dependency injection and connection strings from the config file and all this good stuff. And we got both of them to work. So now everything's working, right? We got the API, but it's still, an API is not anything that an end user can use, right? I mean, they're not going to sit there and plug in data in JSON format. So we started building the website that communicates with the API, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we came up with an ugly looking table because HTML data is ugly by default. You know, that's just the nature of that stuff. But in this episode, what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some navigation so that we can go between the table and having the ability to go to a page where we can edit a record. So we're gonna add navigation. We're also gonna bring in Bootstrap. Bootstrap is a nice little CSS framework that allows you to easily, style your pages with all their classes. Makes it responsive. And what I mean by responsive is not that it's fast, it's just that if you go from a computer to a tablet to a phone, the CSS just automatically adjusts for that content. And then finally, we're going to go ahead and style our table. And so that's what we're going to do for this particular episode. So why don't you go ahead and share and see what it is that we got so far.
All right.
And let's bring up Visual Studio. Or not, yeah, that's right. We need Visual Studio, and we also need Visual Studio Code.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and fire this off. So we got our API. This is Swagger API, or what they call Open API. So let's go over to Visual Studio Code and fire up the application. So I think you're going to have to go down to, you see where it's at the bottom where it says PowerShell? Down to your right.
Got it. Oh yeah.
Yeah, hit the little, next to the plus sign, click the little down arrow and open up the command prompt. There we go. That's the one we need. So in here, it automatically puts you into the folder where your application is at. And all you got to do is just type in yarn start. Yeah, look at that thing. It comes up right next to the Swagger UI. So we have this table that's just horrible looking. And really what we should do is we need to format it. So one of the things that we need to do is, let's go back to Visual Studio. I'm sorry, Visual Studio Code. Let's go back to Visual Studio Code. And let's do a Control-C here. And let's go ahead and stop it for a moment. What we want to add Bootstrap to your solution. So let's go ahead and type in yarn add Bootstrap. You press enter. You're probably wondering, it's like, what do these commands do? Mm-hmm. So there's a little file called JSON or package.json. Let's go and open up that package.json. In here, where it's starting at line 5, where it says dependencies, mm-hmm. These are the dependencies that are being added. So this is kind of like a manifest, so to speak. You know what I mean? It tells the transpiler and the compiler like what packages are needed. So when you press enter, you're going to see Bootstrap appear in that section that starts at line number 5. Go ahead and press enter. Let's save this and toggle back to the browser and see what it looks like. Whoa. That's pretty cool, huh? I mean, you brought in the whole Bootstrap CSS framework, and all you got to do is just put one class in there, and it just beautifies the whole thing.
Wow.
That's kind of cool, huh?
Yeah.
Let's make it so that the roles alternate. So let's go back to code, and right after table, hit space. Okay, cool. Plain, we need to add some navigation. All right. So to add the navigation, let's go back to code. And let's go ahead and Control C down at the in the command terminal, in the terminal. And we need to add another library. And that library is going to be, let me see what the name of that thing is. React router DOM. So type in yarn add, and then it's going to be React dash router dash DOM, DOM. Yeah, go ahead and press enter.
All right.
All right. So let's go ahead and go back to the browser and let's open up a new tab and let's go see what is the simplest way to make this happen. Go ahead and search for React router, 2 words. Yep, it'll be that first link right there. So click on web. And then, so we already did the install React router DOM. Let's look at that first example. Scroll down a little bit. You see that on the right-hand side, the code where it says import React from React. And your right-hand side, the black box.
Yeah.
So let's scroll down. Let's look at that whole example there. So hang on, you went too far. Scroll up a little bit. Okay, so yeah, so what we want, that's exactly what we want right there. So what we want, so we already have this function app, that app.js file, that's what you have already. What we're gonna need is we're gonna need that import, that second import, all the way to the React router DOM. So copy that whole area. Yeah, right there, copy that. We're gonna need all that. So let's put that in code right after the import React, or after the, yeah, scroll up all the way to the top.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We're going to need to add the import React from React and put that as line 1.
I just copy it. Whole thing.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah, put that right up top. Perfect. All right. And let's go back to that example. And we're going to need everything from router to router. Just router. You see router after the return?
Okay.
All the way down to the end, to the closing tag router. Yep. Let's copy that whole puppy there. And let's bring it back to code. And we're going to put that after the header. So where you see the closing header on line 17, put it in after there. Paste that puppy in there. All right. So clearly we don't have an about and we don't have a users. But what we do have is we have birthday list and we have add birth dates, right? So let's go ahead and on line 23, let's go ahead and put, that's fine as home. We'll leave that there. On line 26, let's switch that about to be add. And then go ahead and change that about to say add. Well, you know what? Switch on line 23, switch that home to say list. And then you can get rid of 28 through 30. Yeah. All right. So the about happens on line 34, turns into add.
Mm-hmm.
On line 34. Yeah, switch that to add. And then on line 35, that about component turns into add birth dates. Line 35. Yeah. And let's click between the two.
Placeholder.
Placeholder list.
True.
Placeholder list. Placeholder list. So you know what's interesting is if you open up the debug tools, so right click and inspect. And if you go to the network tab. All right, so go to the add, click on add.
Add.
Yeah, the link add on your page. You'll notice that there's no activity on the network.
Mm-hmm.
So click on list and look what it's calling. Click on that birth date. Go, not the, yeah. So if you go to the headers, look at the URL, localhost 44352 API birth date.
Wow.
That's that same URL that we were using.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the response,
Mm-hmm.
go to the response tab. That's your data.
Yeah. Wow. Cool.
And that's what gets translated in your code. You go ahead and click on that little X next to headers. And look how long it took to go get the data. 7 milliseconds. So if you were to break up a second into 1,000 little pieces, it took up 7. That's pretty fast, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty cool. You can go ahead and close those tools.
All right.
Yeah. But you see how this navigation, they're stacked on top of each other?
Mm-hmm.
We want to have them so that they're kind of like side by side. You know what I mean? And there's a couple ways that we can do that. One of the ways that we can do is React came up with this with a like this thing called modules. And you can create a module for CSS, or we can just include it as part of the index. Well, you don't want to do it out of the index CSS. Let's go ahead and create a module. So right click and add, right click on SRC and add a new file. On, yeah, SRC folder, right, add a new file. And let's call this one, it's going to be birth date list dot module dot CSS. It's going to be a lowercase m. And we'll get more into what this does a little later. For now, I want to just style that menu. Let's go ahead and you see how you have birth date list JS. Let's go ahead and make that proper case. So capital B, capital L. And then let's go ahead and modify the file so that we could rename that as well. Yes. And then let's go into, and we just want to put those two side by side because right now they're, if you go back to the browser,
Okay.
You see how they're on top of each other, and plus you see there's a bullet on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
So that's what the LI is. It's a list item basically. So we want to remove that bullet and we want to put those side by side, right? So inside of the birthdate modules.css file, let's add some CSS class, and we're going to go ahead and style the LI. So go ahead and type in lowercase li, and then open close parenthesis or open close curly braces, and then press enter. And then in here, we're going to say display. This is a CSS class, right? Or a CSS style. Display, and this is going to be inline, all one word, lowercase. Yeah. And then let's start a new line after line 2. We need one more. Let's go ahead and do padding. There's no blank lines. And let's do 5 pixels, just 5 px, and then semicolon. Yeah. And go ahead and save this. Go ahead and get rid of that empty line and save it. And then let's go back to the birthday.js file. And let's do an import after line 3. We're going to do, just like we're importing the Bootstrap, we're going to do import single quote. And then we're going to do period. Hang on. We got to do period / so that we know that it's inside that same folder. And we're going to call the birthdate list.module.css. And then finish that off with a semicolon. And let's go ahead and save this, and let's go back to the browser and see what happens.
There we go.
Oh, now they're side by side. Now, there's a way that we can make this look like a Bootstrap menu.
Okay.
And let's go back to the getbootstrap.com website. And we're not going to do this today, but I just want to show you how we can easily find that. Let's go to the docs, and let's go to look for search for Nav Navigation. So if you do the search on top, yeah, navigation or nav bar. So yeah, if you scroll down in the center, so you see that menu bar?
Yeah, this one.
You can create that menu bar by following the HTML on the bottom there. And what we would do is, if you look at what we got, right? You got the UL and you got the LIs, right? The UL, it's like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you got the LI. Let's go back to code for a moment. And let's go open the app.js. See how we have the UL on line 21 and the LI? But we have a link on line 23. Let's go back to the documentation. In here, they're actually looking at an anchor tag, right, which is a hyperlink. That link actually translates to an anchor tag. So we can easily just simply apply that class in there, and it will turn everything into that menu the way it looks. But let's hold off on the navigation for when we start building out the whole login and all these other bells and whistles that I want to add. For now, we'll keep the navigation simple. We just wanted to remove the stack and put them side by side. And so, but we'll come back and we'll do some of this styling in there. So Bootstrap is very cool. There's a lot of frameworks out there, but I think Bootstrap does like 90% of everything that you need. So let's go back to code. And so we got all this all saved. Let's go back to the browser, go back to the website. And bring up, right there. So if you toggle between list and add, we should be going back and forth. And so, yeah, so I mean, this is kind of the what I wanted to get done today. Just style the table, get some navigation put in place. You can see in your mind, can you picture what's happening?
Yeah, yeah. Weird. Like
Say what?
it's pretty weird seeing like how it looks like in code and like knowing what it's gonna be like on a website.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's the code just doesn't translate to what I see. It's
Hmm.
completely different. And you have to get used to that translation. So you're like, oh yeah, a UL translates to this and an LI translates to that. And if I add this class or this style, it'll not stack them. It'll put them side by side, and I can just go ahead and put some padding in between them to allow for some room for them to spread a little bit. But if you think about it, let's go back to your page.
Hmm.
When you click on add, it's not doing anything other than just removing that table and then putting that placeholder. So literally it removes that whole table and it puts in that placeholder. Remember that placeholder you created?
Yeah.
And then when you click on list, now it's doing a whole lot more. It's removing that placeholder. It puts an empty table and it says, but wait a second, I need to go get some data. It calls the API, which then fires off all your C# code. And your C# code calls the repositories, and the repository calls the data components. The data calls SQL Server, and it calls the store procedure, which then puts your table, sends it back, and then you put it back into an object, and you add it to a list, and then it sends it back to your controller, and then your controller sends it down to back to React. And then React says, okay, cool, let's go and display this. And then your render, you're rendering a table, just by mapping through all the records in there and just say, hey, yeah, just go and display all this stuff. And so there's one more thing I want to fix. And this one, we're going to have to stumble through it. You see how the format of the dates are?
Hmm.
I want to just put the actual date in there.
Okay.
So let's go look at, open up a new tab and let's do a search. We're going to search together here. We're going to say, go ahead and in the search bar, go ahead and type in JavaScript space, and let's do date parsing, or date parse is fine. Yeah, so let's go ahead and let's open up that first one. Okay, all right. This might be what we're looking for. So here we would install moment, and then the way that we import it, we would go. Oh, wait a second. Oh, React moment. Okay, so we need to install moment and React moment. So let's go ahead and do yarn add, and then moment and React moment. So we need to add those modules. So yarn add moment space React moment. So we're actually installing two modules at the same time. React dash moment. And press enter.
Whoa.
All kind of good stuff it installs. Okay, let's go back to the documentation while this is installing. And then it says that we need to import moment, and we also need to import, I think we could probably just get away with importing. So let's do an import moment. So copy that. You see that? Yeah, right there, import moment from React moment. Let's go ahead and put that into your birthdate list.js file. Right, up at the imports. You're going to want to do it after line 3. Or yeah, after line 2, sorry. After line 2.
What happened? Oh.
You have to go back and copy it. I hate it when that happens. Cool. Okay, let's go back to the documentation. Let's see what else we got to do. This is what the programmer's life is like, Jonathan. It's like just copy and paste, plagiarize code.
Do anything?
Did it do it? Refresh it.
Whoa.
Whoa. Oh, you got to run it.
Oh. Oh yeah.
Look at you, man. Autopilot. I don't even got to tell you what to type anymore. We're doing a mind melt here over Zoom.
Oh.
Whoa, look at that.
There we go.
Okay. How do we just display the date and not the time? Let's go back to the documentation. Oh, did you close the documentation?
Oh.
Let's go ahead and open up a new tab.
There we go.
Okay. So, oh, there you go. Look at format.
There we go. Format.
So let's change it. So copy that format.
Oh, just format.
Yeah, just copy that format. And put it in there. Let's save it and see what comes of it.
Cool.
Okay, but let's do month, day, year.
All right.
So let's go back to the code and let's switch that to month, day, year.
Yeah.
Oh, that's totally cool. Let's go ahead and do that the same with DOD.
All right.
That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
So there's all these libraries that just do all sorts of good stuff for you, you know? And we just gotta like remember what to look for and read through the documentation. So, okay, so you see how we have an invalid date?
Yeah.
Let's go back to the code and let's get rid of that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put, so wrap the whole moment tags, both moment tags. Save that and see what comes up. We may have to do empty quotes.
Hey, that works.
Yes.
High five.
High five. Wait, we gotta do it at the same time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. So yeah. So this is where like the results that the tangible results, you know, that your end user gets to see. Mm-hmm. Up to this point, it was all back end stuff. You know, it's like there's so much work that needs to be done in the back end just to be able to bring up this information, you know. But once you get to this front end, it's some pretty cool stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Cool. I think this is a good place to finish off, you know, and close up. And I think next week we'll start with editing and editing and deleting and adding, and we'll do all that stuff. So it'll be kind of cool to bring that stuff up. So
sounds fun.
All right.
Yeah, that was pretty, like, it's nice to see all of our past work come all together too.
Yeah.
Coming together.
Yeah, there's a lot of pieces, huh?
Yeah.
You kind of learn to appreciate. It's like, holy crap! It's like you got to go create the database, go create the store procedures, go create the API, and then go create the website and connect all the pieces together. Mm-hmm. You kind of appreciate what Amazon has. What, you know, as simple as they make it seem, you know, like, just click this and add that and go check out and boom, 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 and one click buy. you know, there's a lot of code that is in the back that is just executing to be able to run all that stuff, you know. So you kind of get to appreciate, man, there's a lot of freaking work that goes into websites. You know? People that just want to pay, I want to pay $50 for 5 pages of my website. It's like, yeah, dude, it's like, what is it that you want? You know, I could give you $50 worth of a website, but it's not going to do a whole lot. So, but yeah, $50 is going to register your domain. Really, that's all it's going to happen. Cool. All right. So yeah, I think we can go ahead and just finish. This is a good spot to finish. When things work, it's when you got to stop. Find a good break point. So yeah, until next time.
On the road to code.
Yeah.